Right then, hands down, one of the best exercises to build strength in the knee joint itself, the muscles around the knee joint, the foot, the calf complex, the hip, is the split squat. The variation we're going to do is what's called a floating heels split squat. When you're skating, when you're on your board, the amount of times your heels aren't on your board, the only time really your heels are down is when you're just cruising or when you land something. Most of the time, most of the weight is more towards the mid and forefoot. Because if you're going to do any sort of trick, an ollie, a slide shove, anything like that, you're going to have to be more on your toes to be able to create that movement. If you try doing an ollie with your heels down, it's going to feel very, very different. So being strong in that heel off position is going to help us when we come to not just doing tricks, but just riding in general. And remember, we're trying to build strength and resilience around not just the knee joint, but everything above and below the knee joint. And that's going to create a really resilient lower body. So a chair, sofa, anything you like. There's a way for kind of getting set up for this. You don't have to do this, but this is quite a good way of doing it. Sit on whatever you're sitting on and put one leg out completely straight. Stand on that leg, and then the other foot goes on. And that's roughly round about where your feet should be. What you don't want to do is put your foot up like that and then spend a minute trying to find the ideal position. So I'm going to be squatting with my left leg out in front. Stand on that left leg, right foot goes on. Your right foot can do what it likes there. You can go on your toe and you can go flat, whichever feels better for you. So the weight on this leg wants to be under my big toe knuckle, under my little toe knuckle. Toes are going to be relaxed. So first thing I'm going to do is just lift my heel off the floor, and straight away my calf, I can feel that engaging straight away. I'm going to squat down, keeping my heel off the floor. Body is kind of going to follow the angle of my shin. I don't want to keep my shin completely vertical with my heel being off the floor. So if you look at the angle of my shin, my body should be pretty close to that angle. Pause here for a couple of seconds, and when you come back up, you're trying to drive through that part of your foot. So you're pushing through the foot and at no point moving the upper body. Like we said in the previous exercises, if we want to strengthen the lower body from the ankle, knee and hip, we need to focus on using that and not switching to our lower back and our chest to help us get back up again. So heel off, torso follows the angle of my shin. Pause here for a second, push my foot into the floor and then drive through my foot. Drive arms all through that leg, all through that leg. You can see the shaking. Don't straighten the leg. We don't want you to do that. We want to keep that slightly bent, but you're trying to open your hip by squeezing your butt at the top without straightening that leg. That means we're keeping the load and the muscles under tension. It won't take many, hang on a sec, cramp was almost kicking in my calf. It won't take many reps of these if you do it right. Like I said previously, it's how you do it. And learning to drive your feet through the floor to generate force upwards is incredibly useful. I spent years doing squats and deadlifts and weights and things like that, and at no point was I ever taught really to push through my foot. It was basically get the weight off the floor. There was technique to it, but it was more push through the floor. And I know, because I had lower back issues for a long time, that I got to the point where my lower back was doing the work and my legs were kind of following. We want this to be all through here. If you feel anything on your lower back, that is a sign that you're using it. We don't want you to use it. So a little tip for this, similar to the slouch squat variation we've done. So set yourself up. Drop the shoulders and let that upper body kind of just hang. If you set up very upright and lower back arched, you're much more likely to use that to get you back up. So drop, heel off, pause and push, heels off the floor, push through the floor. This is all quad, leg and hip. Nothing here at all. Remember, don't fully extend the knee. Squeeze the glutes before going into the next one. Keeping that heel off. Pause for a second, push. My toes are still quite relaxed. It's incredible how hard that is if you do it, if you focus on pushing through the floor. You will feel these muscles like you've never felt them before. Calf as well, and you're going to build some real strength and resilience through the ankle. So hands down, one of the best exercises you can do once you've built up to being able to do it, to maintain strength and resilience around that knee joint. And for skating, any single leg squatting, pushing movement is going to be incredibly beneficial. This one is up there with one of the best ones you can do.